The baby in your tummy has something to say.
During lunch with my mother-in-law and my sister's family, my niece pointed at my stomach and said this.
Grandma, Grandpa in heaven is mad.
At the words of my 6-year-old niece, who seems to have a mysterious power, my mother-in-law turned pale. Secrets she had been hiding came to light one after another. My name is Jessica. I'm 28 years old, married. I work as an office worker at a small trading company. I met my husband, Christopher, who was my elementary school classmate, at a reunion last year, and things quickly progressed to marriage. I've always liked Christopher's kindness and that he was raised well, so I was happy when he talked to me at the reunion. Christopher's father owned a famous company in that area, and Christopher was known as a rich kid back in elementary school.
It's been a while, you've grown up.
It's been a while, of course I've grown up. How are you? Are you running your dad's company now? I casually asked.
No, my dad passed away 7 years ago, and the company was merged. I'm just a regular employee at a different company now.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be insensitive.
No, it's okay. I'm not cut out for running a business anyway. By the way, what are you up to these days, Jessica?
Christopher's well-raised demeanor felt comforting as we talked. It turns out, Christopher, who was a serious, sort of a head boy type, had a secret crush on me back then. We made plans to meet again on the spot. Since we were both of marrying age, it didn't take long for us to decide to spend our lives together. But after getting married, something came to light that has been troubling me.
Christopher, Jessica, I'm coming in.
My mother-in-law said, popping in unannounced early Saturday morning. Linda, welcome. I'm sorry we're a bit of a mess now. I greeted her with a strained face.
It really is messy. You two work, but you should clean up at least on your days off.
My mother-in-law frowned. I was just about to start cleaning. I made excuses in my mind.
And that outfit, you're newlyweds. You should dress a little nicer. Christopher will be embarrassed. Cheap clothes make you look cheap.
My mother-in-law sighed dramatically. She was dressed in full makeup and designer clothes. Because of the sudden visit, I was in my casual home clothes with no makeup. Those obvious designer brands aren't even in style anymore, they're actually tacky. While silently resenting her, I managed a forced smile.
Goodness, Christopher is so kind. He wouldn't tell his bride what he wants directly. You should speak up more.
My mother-in-law placed her hand on Christopher's back.
Mom, I appreciate your concern, but Jessica is busy with her own job.
Christopher murmured.
Look, the flowers at the front door are nearly dead. I'll change the water for them. It's bad to display wilting flowers.
My mother-in-law ignored him and rushed to the entrance, shouting loudly. That's how it is. She comes early in the morning on weekends and just nags. She's living off my father-in-law's inheritance and splurging on expensive brands, so she's well off. She doesn't understand the struggles of working couples.
Wow, that's tough. Doesn't Christopher say anything?
Well, he tries, but it's like he doesn't stand a chance. He thinks he can't win against his mom from the start. He's kind of a mama's boy. I was vending over coffee at my sister's house in the neighboring town.
Jessica, are you upset?
As I was vending to my sister, my 6-year-old niece Emma came over and sat down quietly beside us. No, I'm not mad. Hey Emma, wanna play cards? I shouldn't talk about such things in front of a child. I turned to my niece, reflecting.
Yay! Let's play memory.
Children are sensitive, and Emma has something exceptional about her. Usually, she's just a normal 6-year-old, but sometimes she radiates a divine aura and says mysterious things. There have been incidents like this before.
Mom, it's better to take this road to the supermarket. If you go the other way, there could be a car accident, and it's dangerous.
Really? What are you talking about, Emma? Stop joking, it's scary.
At first, my sister laughed it off, but Emma's expression was so serious it didn't seem like a joke, and feeling a bit spooked, she decided to take a different route to the supermarket just in case. Right after that, they could hear the sirens of ambulances and police cars. From a distance, they could see there had been a collision between cars. Thinking back, if they hadn't believed Emma and had taken the usual route, my sister later told me she shuddered at the thought. Another time, she told my sister's friend, "Tonight, it seems like the house next door will catch fire." When my sister mentioned Emma's previous prediction about the traffic accident, that friend decided to stay at her parents' home that night. Sure enough, there really was a small fire next door, and her friend's house was partly damaged. Occurrences like this had happened several times, and Emma was beginning to be recognized as the girl with mysterious powers in the community. They had received several inquiries from the media, but her parents had declined them all. That's because after making a prediction, Emma would faint and then invariably develop a high fever. If the media spread the word about Emma's abilities, many people might try to exploit them. At that point, Emma's body might not hold up. Considering this, her parents took great care not to publicize Emma's powers. They even insisted to friends who had been helped by Emma not to post anything online.
Yay! I won. It's Emma's turn again.
Emma, excitedly playing a card game, looked like any other happy 6-year-old girl. However, having also cared for Emma after her predictions, the painful sight of her suffering often weighed on my heart. Whether she had special powers or not, I just wanted her to grow up healthy and happy. I couldn't help but feel this way. Then, one day, I was thrilled to find out I was expecting a baby. When I told Christopher, he was overjoyed.
Awesome, Jessica. I'm so happy.
Christopher, overwhelmed with joy, had tears in his eyes. He immediately called his mother to share the news. He handed me the phone, saying she wanted to congratulate me.
Congratulations, Jessica. I have something to give you, so I'll come visit soon.
She said cheerily, and I felt good about it. She probably didn't mean any harm with her previous snide remarks, just being overly concerned for her son. I felt she would surely love her grandchild too. At least, that's what I thought at the time.
Jessica, I bought these for you. A charm from a church well known for safe childbirth and organic food that's good for pregnant women.
Christopher's mom, smiling, spread out the items on the dining room table during a visit while Christopher was out. "Thank you so much, Linda. I'm sorry to receive so much." I started to say, but she cut me off. "All of this, I got through my connections, so it's all discounted. It's only $200 for you. Normally it would be over $500, so this is really special." She grinned. "Huh? You're charging me? You brought it over on your own?" "Sorry, Linda, but I can't pay for this. I'll have to return everything you brought." As I tried to give it all back, her face turned red in an instant.
What are you saying? Such a rude bride. I brought these as a celebration gift for you.
She yelled loudly and stomped out, making a big noise as she left. Huh? Am I the bad one here? Isn't it wrong to bring stuff unasked and try to sell it? That reminded me, the so-called organic products she brought also looked cheap and dubious. I remembered the product name and looked it up online. The website listed phrases like mystical powers, cures incurable diseases instantly. Good thing I didn't buy it. Why on earth was she trying to sell me this stuff anyway? Feeling quite suspicious, I told my husband about the incident when he came home.
Mom likes healthy foods and stuff like that.
Christopher seemed not to take it too seriously. But it's scary to have someone bring stuff and try to sell it without asking. So can you talk to her about it, Christopher?
Sure, I'll talk to her.
Christopher said and made the call. However, his tone was weak, and it didn't seem like he spoke firmly. After Christopher hung up, "How did it go with your mom?"
Yo, she's coming again next Sunday.
What? Next Sunday, we're supposed to go out to lunch with my sister's family.
Yo, I told her that, but she said she'd join us.
What? What's that about? I was frustrated with my husband, who couldn't stand up to his mother. And then the next Sunday,
Christopher, Jessica, good morning. I wonder what we can eat today.
Christopher's mom, in a much better mood than last time, was standing in front of the house. I never said she should come along. I was dismayed. I had been looking forward to a fun lunch with my sister's family, but her arrival instantly dampened my spirits. It was a restaurant chosen with consideration for me since my morning sickness had started.
Well, let's go, Mom, Jessica.
Christopher, trying to please both, said. My brother-in-law couldn't join because he was on a business trip. Maybe Christopher found it easier to talk with his mother around. We were supposed to meet at a hotel restaurant. When we arrived, my sister waved at us, but looked confused seeing Christopher's mom.
Hello. Thank you for always helping Jessica out.
Linda casually brushed off my sister's greeting and plopped down, starting to peruse the menu.
I've been wanting to try this restaurant. Let's see, what should I eat? Maybe I'll have the chalyapin steak, the roast duck, and a chef's choice grilled seafood platter.
She imperiously began ordering as soon as she called over a waiter. Everyone was astounded.
Jessica's sister's husband works for that famous company, right? So, we'll just put this on his card then.
Linda chuckled rudely. Was she planning to have him pay from the start?
I don't have my husband's card with me.
My sister said, visibly annoyed.
Hey, Mom, we'll pay for this.
Christopher hastily tried to smooth things over. My anticipated lunch is ruined. I closed my eyes in frustration. At that moment, Emma, who had been quiet until now, suddenly stood up.
What's the matter, Emma? Sit down, that's bad manners.
My sister's words didn't seem to reach her, as Emma looked off into the distance with a certain look in her eyes. That look. My sister and I exchanged glances. From her usually innocent expression to one that seemed touched by the divine. It was the look Emma had when she was about to make a prediction.
The baby wants to say something.
Emma pointed at my stomach and said, she was facing my mother-in-law.
Grandma, Grandpa in heaven is angry. You've spent all the important money, haven't you? And you've also borrowed money from some bad guys.
After saying this, Emma suddenly seemed to lose strength and collapsed right there.
Emma, are you okay?
My sister hurriedly picked Emma up.
I'll let her rest for a bit.
With Emma in her arms, my sister ran off. What was that about? I looked at my mother-in-law, who had turned pale and was trembling.
Mom, what's wrong? It's just a child's words.
My husband, who didn't know about Emma's powers, was puzzled by what had happened, but he seemed to feel suspicious of Linda's sudden change in demeanor.
Nothing's wrong. Well, kids say the strangest things nowadays. I'm going to the restroom.
Saying that, my mother-in-law quickly left her seat. I was worried about Emma, but I knew I couldn't let my mother-in-law get away at this point. A warning bell ringing in my head. Christopher, please go help my sister. Leaving the care of my sister and niece to Christopher, I followed my mother-in-law. Linda, where are you going? The restroom is over there. I called out to her from behind as she pressed the elevator's down button. Linda, you couldn't possibly have. You haven't been squandering your late husband's inheritance and racking up debts, right? Emma has strange powers and has predicted many things before. Now that I thought about it, there were some concerning signs. She tried to sell me organic food, left restaurant bills for others to pay, and though she dressed in luxury brands, she was stingy with money. Maybe.
I couldn't stop buying branded items with my husband's inheritance, and I lost a lot of money. I tried to recover the losses through investing, but that only led to greater losses and debts.
My mother-in-law said, looking down.
Jessica, you've been dependent on me, haven't you? I raised Christopher well, so essentially, your current wealth is thanks to me. So, lend me some money, okay? I'll make a fortune with it this time. Invest in me.
How shameless. Even without Emma's predictive abilities, it was clear that any further investments by my mother-in-law would result in losses. And she would undoubtedly come begging for more money each time. Then Christopher arrived.
Emma and your sister took a taxi home. Mom, Jessica, what's going on?
I summarized the situation for him.
Considering all I've done raising you, it's a small price. If you had taken over your father's company, you'd still be financially secure.
Don't be ridiculous, Mom. I was a student back then, and I had no confidence in running a company. How much are these debts anyway?
The amount my mother-in-law mentioned was a figure far beyond our expectations. My husband and I looked at each other. We were expecting a child soon, and we couldn't shoulder such a debt.
Mom, sorry, but you incurred these debts, and we can't take them on. I'll refer you to a legal advisor I know for debt consolidation.
For once, Christopher spoke firmly.
That's it. Don't contact us again.
My mother-in-law was still ranting, but we left without looking back. Afterward, we moved and changed our address. Of course, we didn't inform Linda. We also set our phones to block her calls. Later, we heard from Christopher's relatives that she had been begging everyone she knew for money, and many had cut ties with her. She didn't want to declare bankruptcy due to the restrictions it involved.
It's pathetic. She can't forget the days when we were wealthy. Too naive to think someone will just pay for her. Really.
My mother-in-law now leads a lonely, impoverished life, being chased by debt collectors. I've come to see Christopher in a new light, firm in his stance against his mother. Becoming a father seems to have awakened a new sense of responsibility in him, and he seems more dependable than ever. And I'm grateful that Emma's foresight helped us uncover my mother-in-law's debts. Otherwise, we might have unwittingly taken on her debts ourselves. And 10 months later, I visited my sister's house with my newborn daughter.
Wow, it's a baby. So cute.
Emma ran over.
Emma, you have a little cousin now.
Emily eagerly played with the baby. Sis, how have you been? Emma's prediction abilities. I asked my sister in a low voice.
Well, recently, she hasn't had any. It seems to have stopped completely once she started elementary school. The last time was with that issue concerning your mother-in-law.
My sister's voice sounded like a mix of relieved and a bit regretful. I see, but it's for the best. It was a strain on Emma's health. Even without her special abilities, Emma is still Emma.
Yay, maybe one day when she's grown up, I'll tell her about it. That she used to have such abilities.
With that, my sister and I smiled at each other.